Welcome back. It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show on Flow FM, and it's time to turn our attention to the River Murray Netball Association. After they had the weekend off last weekend, players will be nice and rested for tomorrow's games. Pat Brown is on the line to tell us all about this slate of games. How are you, Pat?
I'm good, thanks, Dan. And you?
Going very well, thank you. There's some really enticing games on the schedule this week, and they'll certainly have some finals ramifications. But let's start with what is certainly the match of the round at Karoonda. It is Mallee Storm hosting Mypolonga. Mallee just one spot above them on the ladder, but they've actually got 3 more wins and a game in hand. So there is a pretty significant difference between them. Mypo looking to stay on the top of that next pack.
Yes, that's right. With Mallee Storm hosting the Tigers, it's the week that the Tigers have made improvements and they're settling their player options. But the Storm team has also grown very stronger with new players in. So Storm's biggest asset this week, as in most weeks, will be their height across most of their playing positions. We all sort of know that Mypo have a relatively short centre court, so they'll find that really hard to combat the extra height that Storm have. Playing in front and forward to the ball is the Tigers' best chance this time around, but the Storm will play for the biggest possible win because they're only sitting out of second spot by percentage. They'll really want to consolidate that second position, especially with coming up very shortly a contest between them and Imperials. But one of the very interesting contests on court this week will be in the centre position, especially if Storm play Chelsea Burns against Mypo Stacey Smith, because both of these players have had a lot of top-level netball experience from down in Adelaide. So that'll be a really, really good contest to watch. The other one to watch will be in the Storm goal circle, because now with Gray and Clough, they're very quick at the quick flick passing in and around the goal ring. So it's something the Tigers defenders are really going to have to keep a close eye on. They can't assume a goalie's going to shoot, because the chances are there'll be that last second pass. So they'll have to keep an eye on that if they want to be able to combat the strength in the Storm goal ring. But other than that, it should be a really good game of netball. Definitely the game of the round. I'd love to say the Tigers have improved enough, but it's really hard to go past Storm after watching them come back consistently against the Suns last week, or the week before, I should say. So this will be a good game. Pity it's at Karoonda, but it will be a good game for those that have got to go. But, yeah, it'll be a win to the Storm.
A nice long drive to a sporting venue is all part of the fun of country sport, isn't it?
Well, it is, but I'm looking out my window at the moment and I'm watching the wind blowing through the trees thinking, thank God I'm not out on the road today. So let's hope it's all a little bit better, because I tell you what, as a past goalie, I wouldn't like to be shooting goals in that wind.
All right, match of the round there, Mallee hosting Mypo. The Coorong Cats are hosting Mannum. Coorong have been struggling, so a really good chance for Mannum to get a good win here and potentially raise themselves up the ranks on the ladder.
Yeah, well, the last time they met, Mannum won by 34 goals. But that was prior to the start of the injuries with the Cats. So I can only assume that although the Cats will be trying to settle, we know from their past results that they're really finding it hard to replace those injuries. Hopefully they're not long-term injuries. I'm not 100% sure, but Mannum would not have liked dropping from 4th spot to 6th last week. So they'll be looking for a big win to lift them percentage-wise, because assuming that Mypo will go down to Storm, this 1 week could put Mannum back up if they can win by a big enough margin. So I know the finals are a few weeks away now, but quite often it's the groundwork done in those 4 or 5 matches before the finals that really consolidate, and there's no consolidation for 4th spot at the moment. So Mannum will really, really want to go out there and take this game to the highest possible scoreline that they can. I mean, the Cats are going to try hard. They battle hard week after week. But when you've lost some of your best players, it's really, really hard to bounce back. But this is going to be a game to Mannum. There's probably no doubt about that, even given the fact that Cats are playing at home. But the Mannum need it. If they want to play finals, they need this, and they need it by a big margin.
All right, good opportunity for Mannum against the Coorong Cats. The Ramblers are they're just percentage ahead of Mannum at the moment, and they've got a game in hand. But we've talked about the Ramblers having a tough run home, so they can't afford to drop this one against Jervois.
No, they can't. And they won't have liked losing last week, so this week is going to be very important for them, being able to getting back into finals contention. However, Jervois have been one of the most improved teams this season, and Ramblers shouldn't take them too lightly. Both teams have combinations that will need to click and click well if they want to be able to play a complete team game for whoever's going to take out the game. Ramblers are the more settled team combination-wise, whereas Jervois can play around with their options using the versatility of players like Courtney and Tegan Afford. Ramblers will need their senior players, Nikki DiMichele and Kanisha Seidel, to lead the way for their team. Ramblers at home are very hard to pick against, but I do believe the scoreline should be closer this time around. Last time Ramblers beat Jervois by 16. But Jervois won't just lie down for Ramblers. If Ramblers want the win, they're going to have to earn it. For him being one of the three teams contesting the fourth spot, Ramblers, as you just said, have the hardest run home. So I'll go with Ramblers, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as what they would like.
Tips in for the Ramblers, and that brings us to the last match of the round. Tailem Bend playing at home against the Imperials. I don't think the home ground advantage is going to help them too much. The Imperials probably going to be too good as they've been for just about everyone this year.
Tailem would be on a high after winning against Ramblers last week, and they'd feel like they're getting somewhere. But against Imperials, they'll know that they've got their work cut out for them. Tailem will give it their all, but they know that Imps are the number one team at the moment. So knowing that, this week will be the hardest game of the season for them. Imperials have a lot of player options to have a good look at, and this game will be one of those games where Carrie Daniels can play around a bit with her team to have a look at hard contest games, but because she knows she's got that coming up against Storm in a week or two. So Daniels will know if something isn't working right, then a quick tweak and the team will be back on target. This game will be a win for the Blues. The challenge for Tailem is to reduce the margin below the 21 goals from the first time they met. If the Eagles can bring that margin down, it will almost feel like a bit of a small win for them after last week's round 12 victory, but the Blues, they'll be watching other results and they'll know that their hardest games are yet to come and they'll need to be ready come finals time. So just because it's a team that's below them on the table won't make any difference. Imps will go out as hard as they possibly can just to consolidate and show everybody else that they still are the number one team at the moment. So it'll be a win to Imps.
All right, the tip is in for the Imperials, and I think most people will be tipping the Imps in that one. Good round ahead in the River Murray Netball Association. Good luck to everyone involved tomorrow. Enjoy the action, Pat. We'll chat to you next Friday.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Speak to you next week.